Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your September 2022 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic crossbred as always. And I also pulled the 4 agreements, Wisdom and the Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. So let's see what we get. Alright, so we have 10. And 10th house energy for you guys is actually Aquarius, and we did have that full moon there recently, so could definitely be some residual effect of that going on. And of course, we have Saturn there too. All right, and we have Capricorn. So Capricorn for you guys is actually your 9th house of philosophy, higher learning, foreign affairs, and of course, we've had Pluto there for quite some time. And we have Jupiter. So Jupiter is actually in Aries, which is your 12th house of spirituality, blind spots, mental health, and it's retrograde. So those are the things we're seeing there. And we'll keep those in mind as we go through the main spread. So in the main situation position, we have the 8 of Swords reversed, and challenging that, we have the 4 of Swords reversed. So what I feel like this is saying here is you might have been feeling like you couldn't make a decision around a certain situation, possibly hesitant to move forward on the situation, possibly even around finances too. And with the 4 of Swords in reverse, I feel like this is saying that the challenge here is you might not feel like you fully healed from whatever the situation was, and that could have been what made you hesitant to make a move. But I feel like this is saying you really are ready. It's just a matter of you don't necessarily feel like you are at this time. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Hermit. So this could be an indicator that you've probably been thinking about whatever the situation is for quite some time too, really trying to go deep and make sure that you're looking over every single detail, right, to really make sure that you're not going to make an error around the situation. Some of you could be around a creative project, but yeah, it definitely looks like this is something you've given a lot of thought to. You probably withdrawn for a while, probably haven't been interacting with your friends as much, but looks like you're really just trying to make sure that you make the right decision here. So whatever this is, it seems like it's going to be a significant move on your part. All right, in the past situation, we have the World. So usually I view this as a North Node energy, and it also has a bit of Saturn energy to it. So of course the North Node is in your sign, right? When we had that full moon in Aquarius that we were just talking about, it actually activated the North Node in your sign too, and the South Node. So definitely some intention energy with that full moon. So for some of you, that could have even been a point of completion for you, right? So that could have been maybe you came to the realization that you were ready to move beyond something at that point. On one level, right? Because like I said, it feels like the physical taking action on it, you're not quite there yet. But I feel like this is saying emotionally and just in your environment, you might get a feeling, or maybe you did rather with that full moon, that you did reach a point of completion around something. All right. Present energy, we have the 9 of Pentacles. So this is Virgo energy here. And to me, this says that you guys have experienced some level of success around your finances. But it could just be one of those things where maybe you were just really worried about a situation, so you might not have seen that to this point. So seeing this come up here could just be saying that, like I said, with that the World card there, right? It looks like a bit of a liberation type of energy. So that could just be where you guys are at, to where, okay, you were feeling stuck for a while, like you couldn't move forward on something. And now I feel like with that energy of liberation we see in the past there, now in the present, you're actually able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So maybe you're just working really hard toward the goal, right? And maybe it became such a part of your routine to work toward that goal that you might have reached it, but didn't really realize that you did, right? Because you were just so locked into the routine of, okay, I have to push for this goal, I have to push for this goal. And you could have come to the realization that you actually did reach it already. Near future position, we have the 10 of Swords. So this is Gemini energy here. And to me, this is primarily related to what I was saying there, right? We talked about the 8 of Swords, how you guys might have been unable to move forward on the situation, feeling like you hadn't really healed, you weren't prepared for movement at the time. But I feel like this is saying that you are there now, and with this coming up here in the near future, to me, this says that this is actually an end to the overthinking around the situation, right? Just constantly looking over every detail over and over again, and finally being able to take action around the situation. And given that this is your second house, for some of you, this could just be saying that this is around a financial decision. All right. In the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Four of Cups. So this is Cancer energy here, and I feel like this is saying that maybe you've been getting offers around certain situations, but you just weren't necessarily satisfied with what those offers were um, bringing to the table. So it could just be one of those things where for a while, you were on the one hand open to things, right, but at the same time not, because it's like, okay, you're listening, you're receiving these offers, but you're not necessarily happy with them, right? And where the frustration could come in with this energy, of course, is we see that more of the same could keep coming his way, right? So he's not happy with what's already there, more of which is going to keep coming. But what he could do on his part is to take action toward what he does want, right? So sometimes if you stay in that stuck energy, you just feel like it's a repeat cycle over and over again. So for some of you, that could have been part of a realization you came to as well. Now, for others of you, this could also just be saying that maybe there's just something from your past that you've been replaying, right? And maybe it's a cycle that's ready to be left behind, especially given that we see the World card in the past position there. But for whatever reason, there could have been some reluctance on your part to leave it behind. So let's just say a super generic example, given that we see the Three Cups there. Maybe you were just always in a cycle of always hanging out and partying with your friends, right? And maybe you guys have gotten to a certain level to where, especially now, if you're having to put a heavy focus toward finance, right? Maybe that tradition's kind of fallen aside, right? Like, okay, you guys don't get to meet up as much. So maybe there's some regret on your part that you feel like, you weren't quite ready to leave that behind, but circumstances could kind of be nudging you toward the next thing at this point. All right, in the environment position, we have the Death card. So this is Scorpio energy here, and could just be saying that it could be time for you to leave the situation behind, right? And now, with these energies at play, you might finally be making peace with that. Especially given that Scorpio energy being your opposite sign too, that's where the South Node is. So we talked about the North Node's in your sign, naturally South Node's directly opposite that. So yeah, this could just be saying it's one of these things that you've been meant to leave behind for quite some time, but for whatever reason you just weren't really to make peace with that. But it looks like this month you're moving in that direction. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Two of Cups. So most likely a hope for you guys, right? So it could just be, again, tying that in with the Three of Cups energy or Four of Cups energy we see there, wherever, right? So like I said, super generic example, let's just say you went through a cycle where you were always hanging out with your friends, going out and partying, whatever the case may be, right? And that was just your thing. But maybe you guys have reached a certain level of maturity. Maybe some of your friends are entering into relationships, right? Or moving away, depending on where you guys are in your lives, right? So it could just be one of those things where those connections are kind of not the level of security that they were in the past. And this could just be saying, on the one hand, that you are ready for the next thing, which is you're also ready to move into more of a one-to-one type of relationship, right? But that could be what the Four of Cups is reminding you of there, right? Which is to say, okay, well, it's time for you to leave that phase behind, right? Grab your cup and put yourself out there. So that could be what that's pointing to there. And speaking of putting yourself out there in the outcome position, we have the Fool. So yeah, this definitely looks like you guys are going to finally be ready to leave whatever this was behind, right? Like I said, it looks like it was a bit of a heavy energy for sure, something that you've probably thought over for quite some time. Now we see you actually able to come forward and take action towards something new. So, and I mean, we could just see the difference in energy, right, with the colors in the background. And at the bottom of the deck, we see the Tower. So yeah, this could definitely be just something that might have taken place for you guys around that Aquarius full moon that we had recently. Could have just brought some perspective around something, and maybe that's helping you find peace within the situation. And then all of this is going to lead to you guys being able to step into something new. And the good thing is, beneath that, we actually see the Sun card too. So yeah, could just be one of those things where might have just been holding on to something that was a bit past its expiration date, right? And we all have our reasons for those situations when it happens, but it could just be saying that now you're just getting that nudge to actually move on to the next thing. Alright, moving on to your 4 agreements card, we have don't take anything personally. It says become immune to poison. Alright, so let's see what it says. It says the whole world can gossip about you, and if you don't take it personally, you are immune. Immunity to poison in the middle of hell is the gift of the second agreement. So interesting message there, because reading that makes me think that for some of you, maybe you just feel like within your friendships, right, that you feel like they're not maybe as loyal as you would have hoped, right? With Neptune being in your house of friendship, it could just be one of those things where there might have been a lack of clarity around that, right? But maybe now things are coming to light in that regard, that maybe people that you thought were in your corner weren't in your corner to the level that you might have hoped, right? So that could be what that's pointing to there. All right, moving on to your Wisdom Oracle card, we have Message in the Bottle. There's the artwork, and the number is 15. So let's see what this has to say. Okay, it says communication, a sign, a Clayton, pointing the way to your highest good. The Oracle's message. Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them, when you believe you will receive them, and when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, and a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open, for someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today your answer is this. Today your message is this. Spirit hears you, and the reply is favorable. So yeah, pretty good message there. Definitely seems to point to, just tapping into your intuition, being more observant of your environment, and maybe with that Jupiter transit that we mentioned with Aries being in, Jupiter being in Aries, wherever, you could be getting a lot more insights around intuitive things too. The relationship message says you can expect someone to favor you with positive news. This could be in the form of a letter, phone call, or email. You are the intended receiver of this message, so stay open to what you learn. Only good will come of it in the end. The signs are all there. So interesting message there. I will say in September we will have Mercury retrograde, and it's initially going to start in Libra, which is generally the sign of relationships and partnerships, and it's actually going to move into Virgo, which is your 5th house of romance, creativity. So yeah, you could definitely hear from someone in the past in that regard. All right, the prosperity message says you are on target with your purpose and your passion. You are coming into alignment with your destiny, and Spirit wants you to know that you're on the right track. Expect a call, a new opportunity, or a message from an old friend or business contact that will lead you closer to your dreams and greatest desires. Spirit has been listening to you. So yeah, definitely a positive message there, especially because, like I said, for some of you, if this is around a financial situation, it does look like there's going to be some improvement for you guys there. Or, like I said, maybe just you guys having a shift in perspective that makes you realize that maybe you have already been there with a certain level of success, and getting that freedom to actually let you enjoy it a little bit. All right. And lastly, we have a Mudra card for you guys. This is your Mudra here. It's the Kurma Mudra, and the keyword for it is patience. All right. And let's see if we get everything in the frame. Okay, so under benefits, it says activates the body's self-healing power, balances the immune system, reducing the negative effects of hypo or hyperimmunity, harmonizes the relationship between the heart, fire, and the kidneys, water. So if that sounds like a Mudra thing would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.